Yo, what's up, family? Y'all know what it is. I'm at work, getting in this 9 to 5 time so I can reinvest this money and put it into the craft. But basically, I want to continue the series on fear. If you guys didn't see the first video I dropped on the fear series, is the fear of the unknown, where I basically explain why it's important to do some research on people that look like you, came from similar environments, similar educational backgrounds, so on and so forth, and why it's important to research your your particular craft, and to research these people, which will I basically gave the analogy of us in search of our dreams is like being in a pitch black room. And while you're in the room, you know your goals are somewhere in the room, but you can't see them. So this research is what I'd like to call your fucking flashlight while you're in the room. So even though the obstacles are still there and you still have to fight hard to get to your dream, at least you could peer around the corner and see which obstacles to avoid, so on and so forth. So that was the first one. Go check that one out. And now the second one, though, I want to talk about is the fear of others' opinions. Like, I feel like a lot of us, like, I know for me in particular, I've known, like, I've been rapping for my whole life since the fourth grade. So since I was 10 years old, it was the first time I put my pen to the pad and wrote a verse to a song. So for my whole life, I've known what my talents were, uh, what I was naturally good at and naturally attracted to. But because of social norms and because of the ideas that were pushed while we're growing up, eventually it got to the point where I didn't even really consider rapping as a career or as something realistic that could be achieved. So, how I came across this journey is I was doing some research and someone basically broke down that this thing was possible. And I'll give out more videos on that particular subject, the possibility of really making your own money independently as a rapper and making a good living off of it. So I'll get into that more. But once I saw that information, that's when I knew, like, all right, let me dig a little deeper. Obviously, I missed something. So, like I said, before that, I would have never even thought about rapping as a career or something I could do to really make a real legitimate earning off of. Now, when we talk about the fear of others' opinions, like I said, the social norms and what we've been taught is once you graduate high school, either one or two things should happen. Either you go straight into the workforce, or you go into college and do that for 4 to 8 years or 12 years, depending on what your major is going to be, come out and get a good job, or after high school, you pick up a trade, get a certificate, and go get a job. Those are the three core options that we're given as Americans on what the best route should be once we leave high school and when we want to pursue our careers. Now, for a lot of us, those options may not fit into what we want to do. Like for me, I can't stand working. I know you guys see me work every day very hard, and I usually have a smile on my face when I do it because I'm just that type of person to make the best out of every moment, I'm not going to come to work upset. But I know deep down in my chest, in my heart, that I don't want to work for anyone. I want to eventually work for myself. But with these social norms being pushed on me that I should graduate high school, go to college, that was a strike against me because I didn't do that off top. I waited some years before I went in, which I'm happy that I did because I made a better decision, I believe. And the social norms of working, working, working until I'm 65 or until we're 65 and retiring. So the fear of, let's not even, in this video I'm not even going to get specific. So we could talk about the fear of what your parents think of you taking this leap of faith, or we could talk about the fear of the judgment of your friends, or the fear of the judgment of people on social media platforms. But right now, just to be cut and dry, let's just speak about just the fear of just the whole situation, the whole the whole point, or the whole dynamic that we are literally trained, taught, and brainwashed that we are supposed to graduate high school, get a job, and work until we're 65 years old. That's what we're taught this whole career. The whole time that we start learning anything, we know This is what we have to do. And we also know from examples like our parents doing that, our grandparents doing it, and the rest of the world, for the most part, doing the same thing. And those who don't take that course and who actually have become outrageously successful by not taking that course of action, or by going to college but still becoming a business person within their own right, those people are farther in between. Not to say they don't exist, not to say they don't exist at a large scale, but I just feel like for the ordinary person like me, I literally grew up in the hood my whole life. Like, summer times on my street was crazy. We still at least had like 30 drive-bys on my street in the summertime. Like, so for me to really see someone who like is like a Zuckerberg, or someone that really made it big, not to diss the candy store guy, but a lot of us will disrespect the guy who has a small business, not understanding that this guy's making his own money. So I'm saying, because of these social norms, because of what we've been shown by example, just that alone will cause anxiety if you're even thinking about stepping out on your own and doing your own thing independently, running a business, being an entrepreneur, being an indie rapper, indie producer. So we have to get out of the fear of others. We have to know that at the end of the day, what others do don't affect us, and what we do ain't affecting others. So the best course of action, if you really want to be happy and successful in life, and being successful in life is being happy, it's hand in hand. Like, a lot of times we think being successful will make you happy, but it's really the opposite. Being happy makes you successful, because when you're happy, when you're content with life, that gives you enough willpower, enough drive, enough patience to just go to stay your course, and have enough faith, confidence, and drive to know that you're going to get there if you stay your course. So, like I said, this one's on the fear of others' opinions based upon just the society that we've been raised up in, to make us think that the only options we have is high school, college, work till we're 65, retire. I mean, that's not true. That's not the case. But you have to realize it for yourself. You have to realize that no matter what the social norm is, no matter what we were taught to believe is the best way to go about this, it doesn't matter what others think. It matters what you know, what you feel in your heart, what you feel in your chest. Because at the end of the day, if you do what others say you should do, you're never going to be happy. And if you're never happy, then you're never going to be truly successful. So remember, being successful is not what makes you happy. Being happy is what makes you successful. So, like I said, I'm going to do a lot more content on this fear topic. I feel like this is a taboo topic, especially for rappers, producers, even people from the hood in general, African Americans. A lot of us don't like to show vulnerability. We don't like to come across and show our fears off top. But I'm just here to let you know, like, all these fears are very common. So most of the time, when we keep things in and we don't share with other people, we feel alone. But I've noticed, just from sharing things, sharing my opinions with my friends, when I come on these social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and I share something deep and personal, there's always others that can relate to it. So just know you're not alone, and don't ever fear what you want to be, because you can't get to a successful place if you're lying to yourself and you're not really following out who you're supposed to be in life. You know deep down inside exactly what you were put here to do, but along the way, someone, whether it was TV, media, radio, whatever, any type of media, the school system, your parents, or your friends told you that that wasn't a good idea, or that's not a practical idea, or whatever. So whoever told you that, you don't got to hate on them. You don't got to be mad at them. Just know that that idea may not be good for them. Maybe it's not practical for them, but if you came up with it, it's good for you and you should do it. Like, I just read in a book a crazy quote. I'm going to basically paraphrase it because I can't remember the quote in whole, but it was basically saying that God is not that shady. Like, God is not shady enough to give you something that you've been feeling for years in your heart, your chest, give you a passion for something, and then leave you with no possible way to ever fulfill that passion. God doesn't do shit like that. So when you feel something in your chest and your heart like that, no, God sends you down here with that. God sends us all down here with particular gifts and dreams for us to share with the world. And those things will complete us and make us happy, which will make us successful. So a lot of times our road to success has already been innately put in us from birth. And a lot of times because of the social norms, we have been blocking the thing that's in us, which will bring us success, to do things that others told us we should do, which will not bring us success. So I just want you to marinate on this one, think about it, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be putting out more content. My phone was down bad for a minute. I lost it. I went and got another one the next day. The guy didn't set it up right, so I couldn't download any of my apps. So I'm very geeked to be back on here and shooting these videos. I got a lot of content because during that time I just was, brainstorming on what we're going to talk about. I wrote a lot of articles, so it's on, y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening, watching, consuming my content, and I hope you find value in it. And definitely, if you do find value, share it with someone else that you think would also find value. Like it, pass it along. Go follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and go check out my music on SoundCloud. Basically, everywhere music's available, type in Gen Ether, and you'll find one of my songs. Like I said, I appreciate y'all, and just remember what I said. Success doesn't make you happy. Being happy will make you successful. That's pretty much the key to this one. Don't fear what others will think of you. You got to follow what's in your heart. God put it there for a reason. That's what's going to bring you your success. All right, I'm out. Peace.